class even if you are sitting out. Yeah, but I have been taking notes when I was sitting out. The thing is that maybe 2 days ago you were sitting out and then so hey, we had to get your attention because you weren't paying attention. And I hope the people that deserve it make it. And there's many of them here still. It's like ridiculous. It's like a joke.
So the Dream Academy documentary Popstar Academy dropped recently, and many believe that the show is exposing some unfair behavior towards the member, Manon. There have been many tweets and shorts released all over TikTok showing her being mistreated. And when I first heard about all the drama, I was mad too, but I wanted to watch the documentary for myself before forming my own opinion. And after watching it, my thoughts have completely changed. So here's a full rundown of the drama. So the premise of the show is about girls from around the world coming together to train in hopes of getting their chance to be in HYBE's global girl group. They train for 1 to 2 years before being put into the survival show, Dream Academy.
You have HYBE and Geffen, 2 ginormous labels in the music industry coming together to create the next global girl group.
While the training began, many girls were working hard to hopefully get their shot at debuting. And this is where Manon comes in. During their training process, she began to take days off because she was sore from practicing, leaving the other members to learn choreography without her.
Going to practice today.
Okay. Ha, it kind of looks like you're making a mistake because Manon's not here.
This frustrated contestants because of the extra work they had to put in, and this led to some animosity towards Manon.
This keeps happening over and over again with Manon, and there's people that just came and never danced before just like her, but they are here every single rehearsal.
Manon eventually returned to training, and this is where the tables in the documentary turned. From the beginning, the trainees were never told that they would be participating in a survival show. This information wasn't relayed to them until a few weeks before they needed to go public, which really caused tensions to rise. Because all of a sudden, this stopped being a training program and turned into a survival show, where the girls would be ranked and judged by viewers like you. This realization caused stress levels to run high, which brings us back to Manon. She ended up missing practice again because she fell ill with COVID. This ticked off the girls, because they still thought Manon wasn't taking this competition seriously. These frustrations came to a head when the first round of rankings was announced, and Manon was ranked 4th, which was extremely high. The girls began to think that this competition was no longer about talent and hard work, but about how pretty you were.
It's not based on how talented you are, like things that actually matter. It's just based on how pretty you are.
She's so cute. Look at her. She is a star. She's a future it girl. Mark my word.
As soon as the art film was released, Manon got the most attention because she was presented in such a gorgeous way. So that actually got transferred to Mission 1.
They expressed these feelings to their psychologist in a group therapy session where Manon was nowhere to be found.
Like, Manon, she's getting so much attention. You know, people are upset because she doesn't put a lot of effort and she doesn't show up for her teams a lot. And so people are upset that she is the person who's getting so much attention. It's not based on anything right now. It's just because she's pretty, and that's true. She is pretty.
Is Manon here?
No, she's not here.
Okay.
Manon clearly knows about it because she's literally spoken to me saying that she's upset that we're saying things and all that, but why are you upset that we're frustrated at you, like when it's you're doing, and we told you that we're upset? And this just has been going on since the month that she came here.
However, if I must interject, it was a bit unfair for them to be mad at Manon for something she couldn't control. If she had gone to practice and spread COVID to everyone, the competition would have been pushed back. And in the documentary, HYBE made it clear they wanted to push up the date of the girl's debut, so her staying at home was the best choice. Other than that, the rankings led to ILLIT being eliminated. This elimination was a reality check for all of the girls. They realized that this was no longer a training program, but a competition.
I don't know, I feel like we went through such an intense experience together, like with this going public, with that we got so close with each other.
But I feel like now's the time where we can't like root for our friends.
This not only left some animosity towards Manon, but also towards Iliya. Iliya couldn't believe she was kept safe from elimination, and she felt as though the team she was placed with didn't want her there because she replaced ILLIT.
It feels like I was being blamed for taking Adela's spot, which was not true because I deserved to be here. I worked my very hardest to be here. Like, they looked at me like I killed someone.
As Manon felt this tension between her and the other members, she wanted to make things right and take accountability for not being as present as the other girls. So she called a meeting, which probably should have been done by HYBE. As soon as they sensed some sort of discord between the members, they probably should have called a meeting. Moving forward, the meeting led to Sophia confronting Manon about her absence. Manon then tried to defend herself, but the choreographer interrupted Manon and asked her to listen to Sophia and hear what she has to say.
Like things like that. I know, like, you try to listen instead of react to what she's saying. Try to just sit and listen.
Sophia went on to say she wanted Manon to do better and that she believed that she could. Manon explained her reasoning for not showing up to practice, saying that she didn't feel confident in her skills and felt somewhat intimidated by other, more experienced trainees. Laura chimed in, saying she didn't want any beef and respected that Manon came to them. This led to reconciliation, and all was well in Girl World.
I get their perspective. I need to hold myself accountable for what has happened, but people learn and grow. I told her, like, I genuinely am willing to forget everything. Like, I just want to move forward and be cool with you as long as, like, you do your part, show up, and I'll do my part too.
From both ends, the girls and Manon, they've decided to just leave this on the floor and then, like, let's move on. And let's commit to making it to the top 10 and making it to the group.
A side part does suit.
So I'm going to end the video here and give some of my final thoughts. The Manon situation is being blown out of proportion. When I first heard that Manon was being mistreated, I was ready to fight for her rights. Like, nuck if you buck, bitch. But after watching the documentary, I realized that this situation wasn't that bad, and some of the other girls' thoughts were justified. However, I can see why they would say Manon was mistreated, because instead of talking to her directly, they talked about her behind her back. I also wanted to talk about how Katseye is confronting the situation. So they recently did an interview with The Hollywood Reporter, and Sophia did make a comment on what's going on and the whole documentary in general, saying, "Coming into this, knowing that a documentary is coming out, and even before we saw it, we all told each other that this was us 2-3 years ago. We were babies going through this insanely intense process. We've grown so much as members of Katseye and as sisters that nothing is going to shake how we are right now." I think that was very well said and shows how much maturity and growth they've gone through as a group and as individuals. We have to remember that these were kids when they first started out. Many of them were still in high school, so there's gonna be some cattiness. I also wanted to share a clip of Manon talking about the situation in an interview that they recently did.
What it's like to relive those moments and watch it back in hindsight.
We watched it a few days before it dropped, and it was so surreal because, like, the doc encapsulates like 4 years of like what was going on, right? Like, it was a long process, so watching it back kind of was crazy. Lots of tears. It was very emotional, but overall I feel like we're just so happy with the outcome at the end of it, because, like, if you watch the whole thing, I think it's really inspiring, and it's really raw. Like, you know, they really like showed the true story of what was going on and like our hardships and our victories, and yeah, it was cool.
The last thing I wanted to talk about was the psychologist and why it's important to have one in reality TV. So every reality show must provide some sort of counseling to their cast because they're being dropped into a whole new world and stripped of everything they know, which can be mentally draining. Specifically in survival shows, contestants form what I believe are trauma bonds, which can also cause breakdowns if the person they've bonded with gets eliminated. We saw this with Megan when Iliya left. Okay guys, I'm done here. If you watched the documentary, tell me what you thought about it. And also, hey, This is the first time in years that I've used my real voice. I think it's been about 5 years, maybe? I don't really remember. But yeah, let me know if you want to hear my voice some more. And yeah, have a great day.
Started thought you way too much. Overthinking us. Cause you've been so out of touch. You can have my love, but you've been so out of touch. One day I was dreaming about you. Tuesday I was waiting near the phone.